1 minute. Ken's like, great photos. Who took all these? I wonder who, Ken. Ready. Also, if you can, if you're watching it and if you have a headset or a headphones or earpiece, that'll be better. Just to get the full experience of this class. Nancy, hi Nancy, and Bob. Glenda's online. Hi Glenda. Teresa, Mihela. We got Romania on the line. We have Philippines. I see Australia. I see Mauritius. US of A. All right. What was that? Oh. Okay, so we're gonna go online now. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and okay. All right, so we're gonna do a quick check, make sure that the picture quality is okay here. And all right, can you all see me? Hello. All right, this is exciting. Oh my goodness. All right. My sister is online watching as well. Hello. Hi, Brianna, Marlon, Risvan. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so I see that a lot of people are logged in, and I just feel so great because um, this group of people that I see right now are from all my different social circles. Since I was younger, I see my friends from high school, and even through all my, my current friends right now, and my friends from all over the world are tuning in. So I know a lot of you have been asking me to do this before, and finally I had the chance to do it. It took a pandemic for me to do it, but I'm glad I'm here right now. But before we start, please allow me to thank. And I want to say thank you first to all people who made this possible, because without their help, this is probably not going to happen. So I want to first start to thank my ninja team. When I first started thinking about doing this, I talked to them about it, and everybody was just like, "Go ahead, Christian, do it, do it. It's going to be fun." I think a lot of people will be helped by the knowledge that you will share. And I wanted to say a special thank you to Richard and William, my two main ninjas, who are always here to help me. They're my go-to people when I need help, especially with technical stuff. Um, and they're always there to help me out. Um, and I also want to thank Ken, who is my housemate and really my best friend, because the last 2 months since the social distancing things, I've pretty much taken over the whole house. I filled up the kitchen, the living room, the the bedroom with equipment, computers, and everything, to be able to do what I do. So thank you for being so ever so patient with me. And I want to thank all of my friends who who were like really encouraging me to do this. But I want to give a special shout out to a group of people, a community that I am a part of, and that is the empowered living community. This is really cool because uh, the empowered living community is currently rebroadcasting this tutorial right now live to everybody. They have more than 1 million followers, so this is really awesome. What I wanted to do is to for this tutorial to benefit as many people as I can. So if you are watching and you're not part of the Empowered Living community yet, check them out on Facebook. It's a great group of people. It's a community. It's a great resource of knowledge and support and like-minded people that are always there to help each other out, and they're always adding value to each other's lives. And I'm a part of it, and every day I watch the feed every day. I learn. So please check them out. A special thanks to Paul, to Roddy, to Susan, and Holly, Heather, for supporting me for what I'm doing right now. So all right, and then lastly, well, not lastly, I also want to thank my family, my mom and my sisters, and my mom for just loving me. Um, I think if a if a child is loved, it's a really good starting point for someone to be happy and be successful in life. So thank you for that. And last but not the least, I really want to thank my two dogs, Romy and Roxy, because if not for them, I probably won't be able to take all these flower photos, because I take them out every day, and they provide me with so much love, and they've kept me sane the last 2 months that I'm home. I know they're very happy that I'm always here, but every time I want to remind myself how to live in the present, all I have to do is really look at my dogs and watch them live their lives, and just like that, I'm back on track. So I love you, Romy and Roxy, and this is for you. All right, so this is the first online class that I'm really doing. I've done a lot of classes in the past, but it's more of an in-person class. So this is the first live. I've always found an excuse not to do it, because I'm, as many of you all know, I'm constantly traveling. I'm traveling 9 months out of the year, and doing something like this is a little challenging. But now I'm glad I'm here, and I'm doing it. It feels really great. So this will be the first of a series of classes, and I'm going to continue to do it as much as I could. And this class will probably be the longest class that we're doing, because it's the first one, and I'm laying out the foundation for all of you. Um, but I will continue to grow this platform for everybody, just so I can also share with you, my education, my ongoing endeavors. As a photographer, and as I get more mature, I like to do things more that benefit other people. So I'd like to be able to share that with all of you. For those of you who are not, please just kind of like quick reminder to tell your friends about this community, and join our group. And then one other thing, one just kind of like housekeeping notes for everybody. As you watch the tutorial today, if you have any questions towards the end of the class, we will have a question and answer portion. Well, you can type in your questions, and I'm going to go ahead and answer as much as I can. But if you have a question at any given point while I'm teaching, just write them down on a piece of paper so you don't forget. So write them down, and then and ask as many questions as you can, because even if I'm not able to answer it today, maybe I will be able to answer it later on. You can email me and message me, and then I'll go ahead and help you out with it. All right, so I just wanna do a quick roll call. Let's first start with the USA. So if you can just type in where you're from, the city, and the city where you're from in the US and state. So I'm just gonna do a quick shout out. All right, let's see. I'm watching here the comments. There's like a about 30-second delay, so I'm not seeing the feed yet. All right, Northport, Florida, Los Angeles, woohoo, represent. Minnesota, Phoenix, West Hollywood, California, Key Largo, Florida, Susan, Hawaii, aloha, Edgar. North Carolina, Columbus, Ohio, a couple more, Lakeland, Florida, and San Luis Obispo. And now for everybody outside the United States, if you can just type in where you're from, even just the country is fine. But just kind of really cool to give a shout out to those who woke up early or stayed up late just for this class. All right, so we get Anaheim, Minnesota, Connecticut, San Francisco, Atlanta, Ronald, my high school classmate, New York, Texas, New York City. Hi, Holly. We have to meet. We have to meet. We have to. I have to go back to New York City, and we're gonna make up for everything that's happening right now. New York City needs our love. All right, so we got Reddings, California, Colorado, Huntington Beach, New Orleans. Let's wait for the countries here. Belgium, Brussels, Amina, Switzerland, Nagib. We got Betsy from South Carolina. We got Sydney, Australia, Belgium. The folks from Australia and Asia, they woke up really early. Into the Philippines, it's 3 a.m. in fact, and in Europe, it's I think 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. So and then we got Romania, of course. The Romaniacs are online, awesome. Maine, Canada, it's represented, and Mauritius in the Vanilla Islands, and Belgium, of course. All right, and then we're gonna give a shout out more later, but let's move on. I think that most of you watching right now know or have met me, but there's a number of you who haven't met me yet. So I'm just indulge me for a couple of minutes here, just kind of give you a brief background of what I've done as a photographer, and you're probably wondering who is this guy teaching photography? So let me give you a background. So I've been a full-time photographer now, doing it, making a living as a photographer for 12 years. So I started in 2008. I have been blessed to work with wonderful clients, and I just don't consider them clients. They're all my friends, and through them, I've been blessed to be able to have worked in almost 80 countries now, and all over the United States. So as you can see, it's quite a fascinating life the last several years, because I've been traveling quite a bit. So around 80 countries. I don't know exact number, but that's pretty much what it is. I have photographed pretty much everything. There's very few things that I have not photographed. Uh, like the one thing I can think of is underwater photography, because I can't swim. But one day, hopefully, that will change. Um, um, and but I often get asked by people who know me, what's my favorite thing to photograph. I really enjoy doing everything that I do. I photograph events, people. I photograph wildlife. But really, what makes me the happiest as a photographer is photographing nature, and wildlife in particular. I go to Africa every year, to photograph animals there. I'm happiest when I see a baby elephant and a baby cheetah, following their mom. It's for me, it's a surreal experience. So, and hopefully one day many of you will be able to experience that with me. Um, as a photographer, and especially this is for a lot of you who want to become a photographer. I know some of you are here because you all want to be a professional photographer one day. Um, what I've learned in my years of doing photography is that a photographer needs to be two things. You have to know the technical side of photography, and you should also be on the emotional side of photography. You should have both things, and I think all of you have. We all like fall heavier on one end than the other. Like in my case, let me tell you, I am more of an emotional photographer. And what I mean by that is, even though I know quite a good amount of knowledge in techniques in photography, what really guides me when I'm is my emotions. So I have to connect to the photo that I'm taking, and I think it's because of that I'm able to create images that makes people think, that makes people feel something, that makes people smile, makes them feel sad, makes them question things. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of photographers ask me technical questions, and I don't always know the answer because I'm not very focused on it. But when I need to know it, I'm able to find it. But what I let God, I just let my emotions guide what I do. All right. So I also want to talk to you. This is the last piece I'm going to talk to you about myself. But I think it's important for you to know um, that I have three passions in life, and several years ago, I made a decision. I need to be more deliberate and more intentional in the things that I do as a human being. And so I identified what are the three passions in life that makes me happy. First is my love for animals. I believe that animals don't have a voice, and if the more people who can give them voice, the better. Um, Second is traveling. I love traveling. Like what I said, I've been to 80 countries, and that just did not happen like that. I kind of planned it that way. Um, I've learned that traveling is the antithesis of ignorance. The more I travel and the more people I meet from all parts of the world, the more I realize and the more I discover that all of us have something more in common than differences. So I love traveling. And then the third is photography. So in the day-to-day life, in my day-to-day life, and especially with my work, I try to make sure that these three things work hand in hand in harmony. So I'm able to do what I do, and so I'm able to add value to other people's lives. So I just thought it's important that you know where I'm coming from, why I'm doing this, because it's my passion and it's what I love to do. And I'm glad that you're all part of it. All right, so for today's class, my objective is for you to walk away after this class right away, to be able to go out there, search for a flower or anything. It doesn't have to be a flower, and be able to create a photo, do some editing, and wow yourself, and be able to share it with your friends and the people that you love. So that is my objective for today. I'm not teaching you photography. Photography is a very broad subject. We could spend years just talking about photography, and as we learn photography, it just keeps on changing. It's a fast changing field. So I want to focus today's class there to specifically iPhone photography, so you can take photos right away and be able to benefit right away from this class. So we're gonna focus on that. I'm gonna try to get this class done within an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. Okay. When I first started planning the class and I listed down everything that I want to teach, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. I need a whole day to teach them everything. So I did my best to just kind of like really hone it down to the most important things. So my plan is to like really drill it down to what I think is the most important thing for you to learn now. And then I'm gonna create more classes and break it down and kind of do a more deep dive on all the other different parts of what I'm gonna teach. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So let me give you a brief background on why I started doing this. The reason I wanted to teach you iPhone photography is because I think we get the most bang for the buck here, and you'll get the most mileage because everyone has a phone, and really the future of photography. If you look at the big picture, if you look in the last 10 years, photography is really gearing towards mobile photography, like instantaneous satisfaction. Like you take a photo, you edit it right away, and you share it with the world. I really believe that one day, even professional photographers like me, all we'll need is this piece of equipment to take wonderful photos. And we're there now. If you've seen the photos that I've posted before on Facebook every day, these are amazing quality photos that even back in 2008 when I started my first DSLR camera, the big cameras that I have like this, the photos I take now on my phone is better. So I really believe that the future of photography is mobile photography. That's why I'm so passionate about this for you. Okay, what I'm going to show you today in photography, if you've been with photography long enough, you'll know that there are different ways to achieve a certain look in a photo. you look at a photo and you have like 5 photographers trained different way. They can get to that same photo in different ways. They have different techniques, based on their different levels of experiences. But what I'm going to show you right now is my process. And I've tried to simplify it for you. And I'm going to try to like be as clear as I could. All right. So why did I say iPhone photography? A lot of people ask me, is it just iPhone? No, the truth is it's any phone. The only reason I refer to iPhone is because it's what I've been using for the longest time. I can vouch for the quality of the photos and the technology that they put on this device. It's just mind blowing. So you don't have to buy an iPhone. Any other mobile phones these days, they're amazing. They can come up with amazing photos. But for the purpose of training and because this is what I'm familiar with, I'm going to reference the iPhone. And during the class, if there are things that are kind of like specific to the iPhone, my suggestion is you Google. You Google how, what the equivalent of that is with your, like, for example, your Samsung phone or your Android device. There is always an equivalent. And if you really are still struggling, feel free to message me and maybe I can help you out. And again, like what I said, this class will be focused on photography. We will not talk about iPhone functions and how to set up this way. I'm just assuming that you all know how to do this. Okay. And if not, Google, or ask me if you still can't find Google. All right. This class is going to be recorded. So for those of you who cannot stay the whole class, we're going to make this recording available for you, and so you can review and watch it over and over if you need to. Okay. So what I'd like to do next is now, if you can, this is when sound is important, because I'm going to show you a slideshow, a very short slideshow. I think it's a 4-minute slideshow of photos of spring bloom photos I've taken within the last month during my walks with my dog. So I'm just gonna go ahead and switch my camera here. And if you can all just turn the sound on, because it's kind of like, it's a better experience with the sound on. Let me see here. It's not that one. All right, I am trying. Okay, it's this one right here. Okay, here we go. It's gonna play soon. All right. Okay, I think I'm showing the wrong slideshow. Okay, let me just, sorry, we're gonna reset it real quick. You can hear the audio, right? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually close that off. Okay, so shared window is closed. Okay. Okay, take two. Technical difficulties. First time. All right. Okay, here we go. Hang on. All right. Stop sharing the screen. All right, I hope you all like that. So the purpose of that slideshow is I wanted to show you, these are the actual flowers that I took pictures of and that I posted on Facebook. And I made a little movie out of it, so you can kind of see, you can kind of like really feel the mood when I took those photos. And the next thing I'm going to show you here are the final photos that I edited photos that I published. So, and before we go into the actual lesson of how to take the photos and how to edit the photos, what I'd like to do is for us to look at it, enjoy the photos, and then we will make a really deep dive, keen observation on the quality of the photos and and as you look through them, just kind of like ask yourself, what's common of all these photos that Christian is showing me on this slideshow? What's common among them? And then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen here to a slideshow. I have to do this first. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna share my screen, which is that part. Okay. All right. So right now you should all be seeing, photos. So I'm gonna scroll. I'm just gonna go ahead and play. Oh, it's not doing it. Actually, I did the wrong thing. Okay. Find any matches in your photos library. Here are some images from the web. Okay, here we go. This is it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and they're not moving. I don't know why it's not moving. Okay, we're gonna do this again. Sorry guys. We're gonna do the slide. Oh, you know what? I have to select all and then do that. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this. It's not letting me. I think that's it. I got it. Thank God. All right, so now I'm showing the final photos. So as we scroll through the photo, just kind of take a look at what's common amongst these photos. I'll give you the first one. It's fine, it's my alarm. Okay, the first one is these photos, they were all taken with my iPhone. These are all mobile photography. If you notice, as you continue to look at these photos, you will notice that there's a message on the screen there, William. You will notice that all the subject, the main subject is in sharp focus. Tack sharp focus. And then as the photos go through, if we see a photo where you have a subject, actually, what I'm going to say first is I took all of them like really close, like really up close and personal. I really get close to the subject. And I look for patterns. I look for interesting color variations. I look for contrast. I just look for beauty. I'm gonna pause it on this one. I think I can pause. Okay. Actually, if I go back. You will also notice that in a lot of the photos, when I have a subject that's really sharp, more often than not, the background is soft and blurred. So if you guys are taking notes, it's really good to write this down. Okay, first they were all taken with my iPhone, Second, the main subject is stack sharp. It's really in focus. And then in a photo where there is a background, usually the subject is very sharp and the background is blurred. And then the last one is, not the last one, but one more is, when I take the photos, I get really, really close to the subject. And I take I really experiment on different angles. I look at the top, I look at the side, I look at the left, right, and I go under. Sometimes I will kneel on the floor just to get a shot that normally will not be noticed by other people. Here's another one. You will also notice that when there's a photo where there's a bright color, bright red, bright yellow, bright orange, bright green, blue, purple, you will notice that the color is stunningly deep and intense. Not saturated, but deep and intense. That's kind of like how I describe it. And I will teach you later on how to achieve these deep, deep, bright colors. And then in some photos where you will see, I'm going to look for one here. In some photos where the subject is light, like for example, a white rose, a pink flower, you will notice that the colors are pale and very subtle. So I'm going to teach you as well how to achieve those pale and subtle colors of pinks and whites. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll some more on these photos. And as I do, please think about all these things that I said. The subject is very sharp. Colors are bright and intense and deep. And when there's a background, just like this one, the subject, which is the grass, is very sharp and the background is very soft and blurred. And you will notice that I get really, really close to the subject. And I'll talk to you more about that, why I get really, really close to the subject. Give the viewer a perspective that they normally would not see. So I think as a photographer, that is our job to communicate that there are certain aspects of this beautiful, beautiful flower that if you look close enough, you will be amazed and you'll be filled with wonder. So again, I'm going to continue to scroll on for another minute here. And remember all those things I said. I'm going to repeat it again. The subject is stacked sharp, very, very much in focus. And when there's a background, just like this one, the foreground, the mushrooms are sharp, and then the background, those mushrooms in the back are blurred. When there's a deep color, like this one, the reds are intense, the reds are deep, the reds are bright. The greens are bright, the greens are deep, the greens are intense. I'm looking for a white one. I can't seem to find a white flower here. But and then when the colors are light, like a white flower, a pale yellow flower, a pink, the colors are very subtle and the colors are pale. Always remember these things. These are the qualities of a good floral photo, spring photo. And there's one more thing, one last thing that that is in common with all these photos. Every single photo that I took, this is within the last 4 weeks. When I took them and when I decided to publish them and share them with everybody, and the reason behind it is because they made me happy. They made me feel good. So I think that's very important. As a photographer, As an artist, you should have a connection with the photo that you're working on. Otherwise, if there's no connection, there's no point in working on the photo or sharing with the world. Um, the only reason I publish every photo is because I made a connection with them. All these photos just made me happy. Look at this white, look at this rose. When you take a photo directly from your phone, you don't get these whites, but I'll show you a technique on how you can get these whites, okay? And I think I'm just gonna scroll through last more real quickly. One more time. The subject is very sharp. Subject's very sharp. Can you see my pointer on the, I'm just checking something here. The subject is very sharp, and when there's a background, the background is soft and blurred. When there's a bright color, the color is bright, it's intense, and it's deep. And I get real close to the subject, real close. And like what I said, as a photographer, I think our job is to give the viewer a point of view that they normally would not see. That is our job. And if you're able to achieve that, you create magic. They look at your photos and like, wow, I never noticed that. I never noticed that that flower has some yellow seedlings on top of it. Things like this. Okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and exit this. Go ahead and exit. Look at that one. Look at this one. All right. Okay. All right. Now that we have looked at those photos, let me tell you. So as I was working on this lecture and planning on what I wanted to talk about, and as I read through them like a few times, and then it just dawned on me. Hang on a second. Here are things that I can tell people. These are like the 10 secrets. So I kind of like, I've been able to break it down into 10 secrets. So what I'd like you to do now is on your piece of paper, or whatever, on your iPad, whatever you're working on, do a number 1 to 10. Because these are 10 secrets that I want to share with you, that if you're able to get these 10 secrets that I'm going to tell you, there's a pretty good chance that you'll be able to take really good flower photos. Okay. All right. So let's start with the first one. Okay. First secret. All these photos that I showed you were taken early in the morning in the shade. Many people make the mistake of taking pictures of a lot of things in direct sunlight. And it doesn't mean that you cannot get good photos in direct sunlight. What I'm just saying is that if you look at all the photos that I've taken, they were all taken between, probably, I take the dogs out from 7 a.m. between 6:30 a.m. up to 9 o'clock a.m. maximum. Why? Morning light is very soft, it's very subtle, and it's not harsh. It's beautiful, it's soft. And if you have to take a photo like during noon, try to take photo in the shade, because you can kind of get the same effect. Another time of the day to take the photos is during dusk, like just before the sun sets. It's when the light is soft and the light is really warm. So again, our first secret, all these photos I took were taken in the shade and in the morning. So Maybe tomorrow morning you can get started and do that. So this is the first secret I want to tell you. Before I go to the second secret, on the phone, okay, all photos start with a really good high quality photo. Okay, before we do any editing to the photo, before we manipulate it, before we make any changes, we need to make sure that we start with a good high quality photo to start with. To get that done, to make sure that happens, we have to make sure that the settings on our phone is correct. Okay, for all of you who are using the iPhone, and there are also equivalent functions for Android and any other operating system. Make sure that your iPhone's smart HDR is turned on. Okay, smart HDR is turned on. This is probably the only thing I'm going to show you here. Okay, I'm going to connect. Change my screen to my phone here, and I will show you my phone screen. It'll take a few seconds here. So the model of the phone that I'm using is iPhone. I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but this function is really a function of the operating system. So even iPhone 6 and above they all have this functionality. My phone is not sharing. Okay, hang on a second. And there it is. Okay. So on your phone, if you go to settings right here, I'm going to click on the settings on the upper right hand corner. And then under the search button, the search field over here, if you just type in camera and then click on the second one there, the camera of your phone. If you scroll down to the bottom, there is a row that says Smart HDR. So make sure that the Smart HDR is turned on. So this is turned on right now. That is turned off. This is turned on. This is turned off. This is turned on. Let me explain quickly what HDR is and what it means. Okay. What it means is that if that functionality is on, every time you take a photo of on your camera, you'll be amazed at how much calculation is happening in that fraction of a second. Okay. Every time you press that shutter, you take a photo, the phone takes about, I believe, 10 photos in different exposures. Okay. So what the computer chip in your phone is doing is it's looking at all these 10 photos and it's taking a look at photo number 1. Oh, what's the best part of photo number 1? Oh, that one. What's the best part of photo number 2? What's the best part of photo number 3? And so on and so forth. And then it immediately calculates everything and puts everything in one image that will give you. So, and this all happens in a fraction of a second. So every time you press that, it takes about 10 photos, looks at the best part of each photos from photo 1 is overexposed to photo number 10 underexposed. And it will blend it together to give you the best looking photograph. This is only possible now with all these smartphones that we have, because even the professional big cameras that we use as photographers, they don't do this. So that's why this new era in photography called computational photography is so exciting, because this is not possible like maybe just a few years ago. Okay. That's why you see in the photos when a certain, sorry, my dog is whining. That's why the photo that the iPhone gives you like really nice, like every single part of the photo is properly exposed. So, all right, so let's make sure that Smart HDR is on. I'm gonna go back and Stop the share. All right. Here is the second.
Before you go through, people are asking, is auto HDR the same thing on the old iPhones?
Yes. Yeah, well, okay. People are asking if the old auto HDR. In principle, they're actually there's a difference, but in principle they are the same. Okay. So if you turn that on, it should give you the same. I'm not going to go into the technical explanation why they're different, but they're the same. The function is the same. Okay. All right. So I'm on secret number 2, right? Okay. Secret number 2. Okay. The HDR mode is secret number 2. I forgot to tell you that, but the HDR mode is secret number 2. Okay. Now here's secret number 3. The live view mode on the phone. Okay. Let me explain what the live view mode is. I'm going to connect my phone again here. This is really, really cool, the live view. And I can tell you, I'm going to show you more why this is important. My phone. All right. Okay, so the live view mode on your camera means when you take a photo, I know you only see one photo, right? But in fact, what the phone is doing is actually recording a video. It records 2 seconds of video before and 2 seconds of video after you press that button. Okay, but you only see the photo that is recorded, the frame that's recorded when you press that button. Let me show you exactly what this is. Okay, so all of these photos that I'm showing you right now on my phone, these were all taken using live view format. In fact, you can see it there, the upper left-hand corner, it says live. So look what happens. What I'm gonna do is unfortunately you can't see where my finger is when I'm tapping on the phone, but I'm just gonna tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna tap in the center of the phone and just kind of hold it, okay? And see what happens here, okay? Okay, so I'm here on this photo of the pink flower. I'm gonna hold it. And you will notice that it will kind of move. There you go. So what I'm showing you here is telling you that this is actually a video file. Kind of a video file, but it's a video made up of different frames right there. Okay, I'm going to go to another photo here where I think we'll show more of the, like this is Romy, right? This is my dog. If I hold on the screen and just hold it for a little bit, it's downloading here, 1 second. So you can actually see her moving. So it recorded 2 seconds before I press the button and 2 seconds after I press the button. I'll do that again. Right there. And then when I release it, it will go back to the photo that it picked as the best photo for that series of photos. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do it with this. Let me see. I'm going to find one that's actually much better. Look at this one right here. See. It's downloading. It's downloading. Right there, you can see it moving. I'm going to do one more time. So this is a dandelion. I'm going to do it here. You can see that it's actually like a little movie file. Okay, so now this is what's really cool about this, okay? This live mode. I'll show you why. There's a photo here that I made and I published of a flower with a bee right here. Can you all see that? A flower with a bee. I'm gonna go ahead and press it for a few seconds so you can see the movie file, but you can actually see, hang on. Hang on a second. So here's the movie file. So I'm holding on to it. There you go. Here's the movie file. 2 seconds before. There's the B. Boop. One more time. I'm doing it again so you can all see. And one more time. Okay. Now let me show you why this is really, really important. When I took this photo, the bee was actually very out of focus. I could not even catch the bee because it's moving so fast. But because I shot it with live mode on, I was able to pick that frame where the bee is actually in focus. This is how you do it. On the upper right-hand corner of the phone, you'll see edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and click the edit button. And it's downloading the photo from the cloud because I set it up that way. So it's just like take a couple of seconds. On a Samsung, it's called motion photo. Okay, I just read it from Amina. Okay. All right, so here we go. So once this is ready to edit, I will show you a function here on the right on this button. Can you see my cursor? Okay, so I'm moving the cursor here. You will see next to the cancel button on the lower left-hand corner, there's this little icon. It's a little circle with circles around it. If you click that, okay, what you will see at the bottom, all the frames that were recorded for that video, you can see. And you can move that little, right now where the white box is, where the small white box is where the selected frame is. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on it and I'm gonna move it around. And here, as you can see, it's moving it from the different frame. So if what I did right now is I chose the very first frame. So this is actually the very first frame. It's really blurry. Second frame, because I really want the B in there. Third frame, Fourth frame, Fifth frame, sixth frame, seventh frame, eighth frame, ninth frame, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There he is. Got him. I'm gonna go ahead and release it. I got the B. So that is the importance of the live view function. Sometimes when you're taking photos of like really especially small flowers and there's just like a small breeze of wind, it's really hard to take a photo because it keeps on moving. But if you took it with a live photo, there's a pretty good chance that one of those frames will be sharp. So that's one big secret in this technique. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna go ahead and HDR mode, live view, shade. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep the phone here. I'm just gonna go ahead and exit and cancel. All right, here is the fourth secret. Please write this down. Most phones these days, especially in the last 2 years, I believe, most phones have at least 2 cameras in them. The 10, my iPhone 11 has 3 cameras in them. iPhone 11 has 3 cameras. iPhone 10 has 2 cameras, okay? Let's talk about even just the 2 cameras, right? So 2 cameras, one camera is the normal field of view. The second is a telephoto lens, which means, I refer to it as 1x and 2x. 1x being the normal mode, and 2x is the telephoto mode. Secret number 4, about 95% of all these photos that I take are taken using the telephoto mode or the 2x mode. So there you go. 95% of all these photos are taken using the 2x mode. This is also where you achieve the very sharp subject and very blurred background. So you have this like really shallow depth of field where, you know, the flower is just so sharp, and then everything in the back, the grass, they're all blurred and soft and dreamy. This is how you achieve it using the 2x function on the phone or the telephoto camera on your phone. That is secret number 4. All right. Secret number 5. I'm gonna exit here on my phone. Get confused. Secret number 5. Just like on this photo that you're looking right now, this yellow, I think this is a poppy, a California poppy with red splashes around it. Okay. Secret number 5 is I get really close to the subject. If you notice in many of the photos that I showed you earlier, very few of them really show the whole flower. I give the viewer a hint or just a partial view of the flower. Why? Because it just makes it more interesting. You give them like a close view of the flower and let their imagination fill the rest of it. They know how it looks like. They know how the whole flower looks like. If you show them a part of the flower that's really interesting, their imagination will fill the rest. And that's what makes it magical, in my opinion. A lot of people don't think this way, but when you all look at these photos that I take, just like that, you know it's a rose. You know it's a red rose, right? But I'm kind of forcing you to really focus on this part of the rose. One more. Look at that red leaf. You know it's a leaf. You can probably imagine what the shape of the leaf is. I will let your imagination fill it up. But I wanted you to look at the patterns of the, what do you call these? The veins or the, whatever they are. But that's what I wanted you to look at because it's really interesting. Look at that, okay? Let me show you something. I will show you the full photo, okay? If I'm gonna go ahead and click edit, and that will remove the crop. It takes a while, it's gonna download a little bit. So this is what I want you to see as a photographer when I shot this photo. Okay, you know what? I don't want to show them the whole leaf. I want to show them the pattern. I want to show them how cool it looks really up close. Okay. It's downloading. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and click edit. I did click edit, and then I'm gonna click on the crop button here, which I will talk more a bit later. And I will show you the original. There's the original photo. So I'm gonna remove the crop. How do I remove the crop? There you go. I don't even know how to remove the crop. Oh, there you go. Okay, there. You know why? Because I limited it to, I'm gonna click that, and I'm gonna go original. There you go. So there's the original photo right here. Right there. Right? But I only wanted to show you this. I'm gonna straighten that up a little bit. It's not as. Straighten up a little bit. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so one more example here before I move on. Let me see what's a good. This is a good one actually. Where's this one right here? Okay, a lot of people don't even know what that is. Like, that's actually a flower of a cactus. So let me show you. This is what I wanted to show you as a photographer, to make you think, to make you wonder, like, what is that? It's beautiful, but I can't figure out what that, I can't figure out what that is. Now here, let me show you the original photo here. Edit, it's downloading. So again, as a photographer, this is called cropping. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I just wanted to show you, the techniques that I use to come up with these photos. I really get really close because it makes people think when they look at it. Downloading, almost done. Okay, here we go. Downloading. Okay, here we go. Click it. And that is the original photo, right? Original. So that is the original photo right there. It's a cactus flower that's kind of like drooping down. But I thought, it's kind of like messy. It looks really messy the way it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crop it a little bit here and show them that. All right. Okay, so that's secret number 5. Get real close to the subject. Give the viewer the opportunity to see the small things that they normally would not take time and stop to see. That's what will make your flowers interesting. Show them a part of the flower, middle, left, right. Show them something interesting. Look for patterns, look for forms, look for color contrast, and let their imagination fill the rest. Okay, moving on. Secret number 6. Actually, no. Before I go to secret number 6, what I'm going to show you now is I prepared videos of the actual process when I actually take these photos. Like when so usually what happens is I walk the dogs. As we walk along, I would see a beautiful flower or something that fascinates me, and I would stop and I'd take a photo. So I did a few of them, and I actually recorded the screen so I can show them to you. And as I'm showing the video, I'm gonna kind of explain to you and talk over it to explain to you my thought process and exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna switch screen here. I want to make sure. Okay, we have that, and I'm gonna these. And okay. Oh, actually, yeah, this one. Okay, let me see if this works. Yep, so right now, this is the first video. So this is in my backyard. Don't worry about the orientation here, but there's Romy laying in the backyard. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some flower photos in my backyard. So my camera is on. Right now, I'm on the wide angle lens. I switch to the telephoto lens. I get real close, real close. And really, what you need to do here is you have to let the camera do its job. Wait for it. When you see that one's a little hard because Let's see. I started again. Hang on. Because it was a little bit windy, but anyway, I took the photo anyway because I can see that it's sharp, right? And then I moved on. I moved on to another plant here, real close. I see it sharp. I press the shutter button. I move on to another, maybe another angle. Here, I'm showing you what buttons I'm pressing here. I tried a different angle here, real close. I got it sharp, press the button, shutter button. Moving on. That's a wide angle camera. I switch to wide angle camera. There's another flower here that I want to take a photo. Now, this is another thing that you need to be very conscientious about. When you're taking a photo, make sure that the background is nice. So I'm positioning the camera here so that the background is the green plant behind me. So it looks nice. If I move it just a little off, you will see the faucet, and you don't want that. So I went here, taking photos at the top. It's sharp, I take the photo. Right, moving on here to another cactus, wide angle. This is, I get really close, real close. I'm gonna wait until it focuses, let the camera do its job. I'm tapping so that it's focusing. Sometimes it's not focusing. There you go, I took the photo, and I think I have a couple more here. I'm moving on to the other side of the backyard. That's my wide angle camera. Oh, these, I've published this a few times, but these are this yellow flower. See, I went to a 2x telephoto. I made sure that the background, I moved the camera a little bit to make sure that the background is nice. It's focused. I'm gonna press the shutter soon. Boom, there you go. All right, now moving on. This like little beautiful Irish plant, like, I don't know what these are, but they're pretty. So there you go, telephoto. Waited, I'm waiting, I'm composing it, waiting until it's sharp, and then here we go. I like that, boom, I took the photo. Then there's a few more here. Wide angle, I switch to telephoto. No, not yet, there you go. I switch to telephoto. I get real on top of it, like real close. I wait for it to go sharp, and I took the photo. Okay, and then I'm doing a couple more. I went to this plant over here. I think here I'm gonna try to like do a different angle, right? So this is like the normal angle that I normally do on top. Get really close, take the photo, and I kind of moved. I tilted the camera a little bit to get a little bit different perspective here, different composition. I'm waiting until it gets really sharp. That center of the flower. There you go, and boom, took the photo. So you really have to wait for the camera to focus before you take the photo. Right there. These are my Japanese maples. Right there. Try to keep your hand as steady as possible when you're taking the photo. And I think there's a few more. This is my red Japanese maple. There you go. I wait for it until it's sharp, get close, take the photo, boom. And then I got even closer on this one because I really, really love Japanese maples and I love the pattern. There you go. And moving on to the other side, and I have a little green cactus here. So I'm doing this right there, showing you the process. This one's a little difficult because it's hard to focus because there's so many spikes, but I got this one. Wait, it's focused, moving. So here I'm moving the phone up and down until I see the focus, right? As you move the camera, the phone, the computer in your phone is constantly recalculating to give you the best image. It's calculating like millions of calculation happening in seconds to give you that sharp subject. Here we go. I'm waiting until it's focused right here, it's focused. Boom. Okay. So again, take note, I'm always on the 2x or the telephoto camera, and I get real close. All right, and I think I'm gonna take one more here. I have another Japanese maple. I love Japanese maples. We fill the garden with Japanese maples. So here, um, so I'm waiting. I'm trying to focus on that little flower. It's kind of hard because it's moving, but if you're patient enough, boom, there you go. There's one more, and I think that's it. I think that's it for that one. Oh no, there's one more. Okay, I'm gonna go back because I wasn't quite happy on the first one because it was moving. So I'm doing this again. So you see, I'm moving the camera so the background is actually pleasing to the eye and not that cement over there. But I'm kind of having a hard time because it's moving. It's moving. So what I did here is actually I held that flower with my other hand, and I just kind of like tried this. It's so, there you go. Here we go. Boom. Right there. Boom. Another one. And I think that's about it for that. Okay. All right. So we're going to watch several more because my purpose for this is, for you to get the technique, the actual technique of taking the photo with your camera. Because like what I said earlier, we need to start right off the bat, just like when you make wine or you make coffee. To make good wine, you need good grapes. You need good coffee, you need good coffee beans. And in photography, before you can come up with a final good image, you need to start with an initial good photo. Okay, so this is the second video. Again, I'm trying to make you focus here on the process on how I take the photo. And this is a different colored flower. I think this is the red rose. So this is my neighbor's front yard. So I'm taking photo of the red rose here. So there's a beautiful red rose. I'm getting close, 2x camera, getting close right there. Wait for it to get sharp, wait for it to get sharp. Try to keep your hand steady and boom. Moving on to the next one. Here I like because there's like some water droplets on it, I'm moving the camera up and down, left and side until I get that sharp focus on the subject. So I'm doing it here again, boom, there you go. And this beautiful purple flower, I love these flowers. So this is what I'm doing here, boom, take a photo. I think my camera froze there, but let's see what happened. It looks frozen. Okay, I think my video recording there got messed up. Okay, so moving on to the next one. I find the pink flower. So here we go, pink flower with the water droplets. I'm moving the camera up and down until I find that tack sharp photo, and then I hit the shutter button. This photo is freezing. This video is freezing. There you go. And then I went under the rose. I actually knelt on the floor here just so I can get this angle. Boom. And then looking. Oh, I like these little rose baby buds. Boom. Take a photo. Boom. Notice that the background is a little blurry just because I'm using the 2x or the telephoto. And there's my dogs. And I think that's it. And then we're going to go to the next one. I want you to focus on the process and the system that I use when I'm taking these photos. Third video. I think this is this is a succulent patch. This is a very small flower, really small. Moving the camera up and down. When I see it focus, there you go. I'm gonna hit shutter soon. Boom! I hit the shutter. Moving on, looking for another one. There you go, really close. 2x. Trying to hold it still. I see it really sharp, and I hit the button. Here we go. Same thing here. Sharp. Press the red button. Obviously, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm kind of fast at it. But don't worry about being as fast as I do it now, especially when you first do it. Take your time. It's more important to learn the process than to get a lot of photos right. So take your time. Okay, so that's is the third one. I think we're moving on to a different colored flower here, purple flowers. There's Romy. Oh, this is, I love this. This is a patch of purple irises in one. So I love this very much. In fact, I use this as in one of my my graphics. So there you go. Again, 2x camera setting, getting really close, trying different angles. I'm tilting the camera, 45 degrees, up, looking down. And like what I said, let it communicate to you. If you see something and you feel something that's cool and oh, I love that, then hit the button. You have be an emotional photographer. Here we go, trying different angles, really close. There you go. Okay, and this one I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to like do a like backlighting almost. I'm gonna use the blue sky here as backlighting. There you go. I'm getting really close here. I'm switching to my 2x. There you go. I try to challenge the phone sometimes because I'm trying to see how close I can, because I want to be as close as possible. Okay, so that's the one. Okay, you want to see my stock market here? No, that's not it. Okay, next video. I think this is another purple flower, like really tiny purple flowers. There's Roxy right there. Romy. The reason I'm showing this is I'm trying to show you the scale of how small these flowers are. So that one I took a wide angle shot because I like the look of that. And then that, and I'm back here at my 2x camera, trying to get as close as I can, trying different angles. I found this little bud right here. I waited to get sharp, boom, press the button. And then here, I actually kind of sat down so I can get a different perspective. I wanted to take photos of the flowers from eye level. So here we go. Oh, that's Roxy. I hope you're getting the process here, because I think the more you watch this, is the more you get familiar with it, and then you practice. There you go. This I turned it to wide angle because I wanted to show the house, kind of different. This is like a dog's eye view perspective. So I always wonder, like, what Roxy and Romy sees, and this is what they see. Right there. Trying to get that one. Sometimes I would spend minutes just, in one patch until I until I get that one that I like. And again, let the photo communicate to you. Next video. Next video. There's Roxy. Oh, this is a lavender patch. So this, I want to take a photo of that lavender with the rising sun in the back. There you go. That's a wide angle camera, and I'm getting closer. Now I'm on my telephoto. I'm using that sun as a backlight. And again, take note, this is all in the morning, no direct sunlight, very shady. The best time to take photos outside is when it's cloudy, because you have soft light, no harsh shadows, and light is just even and soft. All right. Next, we have a few more. I think this is important. That's why I'm showing you a lot of these videos. And I think this one is yellow flower, I think. Yes, so this is the yellow rose. This is the yellow rose. I got really close, 2x, really close there. I got it sharp and I took the photo. Moving on. A rosebud, sharp, took the photo. And this one, I saw a little insect. So it was a little challenging because when you have an insect like this and the rose is moving, it's really, really hard to focus. But if you're patient enough, and if you do it often enough, you'll get the hang of it. So here what I'm trying to do. It was really hard. So while I'm doing it, I'm trying to tap the screen here. You can see like a little yellow square there. When you tap the screen, it's trying to focus it on when you tap it, right? So I'm trying to focus on that little insect to get him like really, really sharp. I'm moving the phone up, down a little bit, up and down a little bit, like really, really subtle movements. And I think I got it, but I'm not sure. And then here and there's Roxy again. All right, next one. I think this is the hibiscus. Here we go. Just watch it for me. I see some questions here. People are asking questions, about, where do I find this? Where do I find that? Please make sure you write that down. And then really what I want you to do now is like just really write it down and then focus on the video. Because I really want you to get this process on how I take the photos. It's quite important. So here, look at this right there. I'm waiting for it to get focused and then I take the photo. Okay, so because this process is quite important. Wait for it to focus, and I take the photo. There you go. And as you can, I'm really trying to get as close as I could without getting it blurred. There you go. And I think there's one more. Let me see. I think there's one more, but actually there's a few more. Okay, so this one is this is the lemon flower. I love this flower. So this is a lemon tree, and these are like really tiny flowers. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm on 2x, getting really close. 2x. I'm waiting for it to get sharp. Right there. And I take the photo. Okay, I'm looking for another one. Looking for another one. That one's pretty cool. I'm waiting for it to get to focus and took the photo. There you go. I hope you're seeing what's common here is I'm on 2x. When I find my subject, I get my camera as close as I can and move it up and down, left and right, whatever, until you get the focus, and then I take the photo. Then you capture the photo. And remember, this is all on live mode, okay? All on live mode. That one. And I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to the next video here. And I think this is the, let me see, this flower, I've been taking a lot. I'm going to talk about it first. This next video, I've been doing a lot of flower photos in our walks. And just when you think you've seen everything, because I pass by this house every day, and yesterday I found this and I just thought, I've never seen this flower. It's really, really cool. So I really took some time and took video. It's really beautiful. I have not published it yet. It's almost like a red velvet. And then the flower is just beautiful. Here we go. And then here I'm making sure that the background is good, which is the green grass back there. So I'm using the green grass as a background. Sharp, there you go. Moving on to the other one. I'm waiting it to get sharp, and there you go. And here's another one. Boom. Okay, boom. Here we go. So the process is the same over and over and over. And I'm going to show one last one. And this one I want to show you because I was using, this is this morning, and the sun is rising, and there's this desert plant here, and I wanted to show you how I use the sun as a backlight. Okay. So the sun is backlighting the leaves. See how beautiful the leaves turn when the sun's like behind it? And the sun is soft. It's almost luminous right there. So again, common thing here, I'm getting really, really close, really, really close until I find something that's very interesting for me. I look for patterns, I look for color gradients, I look for contrast. I just look for anything beautiful or anything that connects with me. Okay. All right. So I hope that helped. I'm going to make all these videos available for you to watch when with this video, so you can reference it. So the next thing I wanna discuss here is the actual photos that we will edit live on this class are the actual photos that I took earlier on those videos that I showed you. So we're just gonna pick a few of them so I can show you the editing process and how I come up with the final photo. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all these photos that I took. I'm gonna connect my camera. My camera is still, nope. Okay, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go to my phone and connect, and that's my phone. I think this is it, right? Yeah. So these are all the photos that I took on that video, right? So if you remember, we kind of started there. Sorry. Started in my backyard, got the Japanese maples, the red rose, the pink rose, the succulents, the desert succulents, the beautiful purple irises, the purple flower. So I'm going to show you my process. Once I've taken all these photos, what I do is, obviously I take 2 or 3 or 4 photos for every time I do it, for every series. So what I do is I mark my favorites, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go through them like this. I don't like that one. And that's okay. I like that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that as my favorite. I'm going to click this little heart icon here at the lower middle part of your screen. And I'll mark that as my favorite. I'm going to go through. I'm going to skip that. This one. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to mark that as my favorite. This is what we call filtering. We're just kind of filtering what's the best and what's not the best right now. So that one, yeah, that's okay. This one I like. I'm gonna go ahead and click that. So basically, this is what I do. I'm gonna go through very quickly here and just kind of pick the ones I like here, and then I'm just gonna. I hope you don't get dizzy if I click so fast. I'm picking one different color of flower so I can make an example of each color. This one I like. Instagram. I like this pink. I like this. It's not very sharp, but it's okay. That's a good sample. Pink. This one. Let's see. This is pale. I'm going to use this because I like this pale color. I'm going to mark that as favorite. This one I love. This one I like as well, yellow. I'm just gonna go and pick the one of the irises now. I'm gonna jump. Oh, actually, you know what? I like this one better. Oh, maybe that one. Oh no, maybe this one. Okay, I like that one better. I'm gonna mark that. All right, and then I'm gonna go and jump into the irises. Yeah, this one I like. I'm gonna use that one. Show how I edit that. Okay, so I think we're gonna stick there. Actually, maybe I'm gonna pick one of the hibiscus here. I'm gonna pick. Let's see. I'm gonna pick this hibiscus and then actually one more. This is one because this is one I've never edited before. That's one. So all these photos that I picked right now are the ones that I'm gonna show you how I actually edit them. And this is where I don't want you to worry about, take so much notes. It takes practice to make this happen. Okay. But I will give you the 6th to 10th secret number 6 to secret number 10 all lies into the editing process. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my favorites section here. And then we're going to start with the red rose. Okay. We're really getting into the editing part. Um, Creating a photo first. The first part is taking the photo. The second part is editing, and a lot of the magic happens in editing, and a lot of like the enhancement happens in editing. So I'm on my iPhone thing here, so I'm gonna start and click edit at the top hand right side here. Edit. Okay. I will show you my actual process. It's almost always the same process, same steps that I use. I've kind of like have formulated. This is kind of like how I do it. So I'm showing you my process. Okay. I'm not going to talk about all the functions of the built-in editing tool. I'm just going to show you the ones that I use, and that's what you need to really, really, really focus on right now. Okay. First thing we need to do. Okay. So here's the photo that we picked. Right. Secret number 6. Okay, write this down if you're writing notes down. Secret number 6. Press the auto adjust button right here. So I'm gonna press that, and look at what happens to the cat. Look at what happens to the photo. Boom. Okay. So what it does, the computer will try to think, okay, well, I kind of, based on the lighting and based on the color information that I have, I'm gonna try to give you what I think is a good photo. Is it always right? No. I would say it's about 75% right, and 25% of the time, I don't like it. Like in this case, I don't like it because what it did, it kind of washed out the color. Red's very tricky, okay? So what I do is I'm gonna press that again, just kind of go back to the original photo, okay? But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the next photo. That way I can show you when auto adjust works really well. And I think that will be here. Okay. I'm going to hit edit. And then I'm going to click auto. Watch what happens when I click auto. Here you go. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you notice it, but it's very subtle. But it brightened it up a little bit, increased the contrast a little bit, actually desaturated the color a little bit. Okay. We're not going to stop there. Okay. This is what I do. You see the slider here at the bottom? You can actually move that to tell the auto adjust function to kind of give you different options. See, if I'm sliding all the way to the left, it's really giving me like a very, very dark version of it. If I slide it all the way to the right, very, very light, right? So I'm gonna click auto again. So go back to its original thing for me. Editing photo is very subjective. There's not one right or one wrong thing. It all depends on the eye of the photographer and the eye of the viewer. So I'm showing you here what my taste is like. So very often, like in this case, I will actually slide it a little bit to the left because I kind of like it a little darker and a little bit more contrast. Okay. The secret number 6, right? Exposure. Okay, the exposure. I almost always never touch that. Okay, so we're gonna skip exposure. Oops, I just did. I'm gonna go back. Sorry. Okay, so next is a brilliance. Okay, I almost always never touch that. Skip it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Highlights. I almost always never touch that. Let's skip to the next one. Shadows. Okay. This one, I would say I use it 50% of the time. Okay. Shadows is what it does is it will adjust all kind of like the dark spots in the flower. So if you look here, watch what happens. Okay. If I move the slider all the way to the left, look at the dark spots in the photo. It gets really dark. If I move it to the right, it gets really, really light. It's almost like washed out. It kind of gets rid of all the shadows, right? In my photos, I like a lot of contrast. So I tend to give the dark spots. I like it deep and dark, I like it. This is what I would do. I'll probably go past halfway. I'm going to go right there. All right. All right, here's the next secret. And this is a big one, okay? Well, this is like secret number 7, yeah? Cropping, okay? Like what I've been showing you earlier, most of the time, 99% of the time, the way I take the photos is not the way I publish it. I always crop the photos, which means I recompose it to give it of a more interesting twist, okay? For this one, I'll show you what I do, okay? And again, this is something you have to practice on, something you have to experiment, okay? But I'll show you. I've never edited this before, so I'm gonna stop whenever I feel good, whenever it emotionally connects to me, okay? I'm gonna hit the crop button here, okay? And you see there's 4 corners. You can actually move it smaller. You can crop it this way. You can make it square if you like. You can make it more rectangular, more vertical, or more landscape this way, okay? But for this, it's kind of speaking to me this way, right? And then you can also rotate it by moving the slider this way. So here, as you can see, I'm just kind of like feeling around, see what looks good. I like that. I like that. I like that crop. So I'm gonna be okay with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up. Okay. Let me see brightness here. Okay. So that, right? Next, so I'm gonna escape out of the crop button and I'm gonna go back to the editing tools here. So we did shadows, contrast. I almost always never touch that as well. Brightness. Okay. So with brightness here, again, I use this 50% of the time. And I look at the overall picture. If you look at the yellow, I don't know what you call these, but this yellow, like little things that are sticking out, it's a little overexposed, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit darker by sliding the brightness lever there to the left. See what's happening right now? I'm gonna do it all the way. See? I'm gonna pull it back. Pull it back. That's where it was. I'm gonna put it just right there so you can still see. You're starting to see the details in the yellow here, and even the transition from the green to the yellow, right? I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. Next, black point. I almost always never touch that. Saturation. I almost always never touch that, except for one later. I'll show you when I use it. Okay. Vibrance, almost always never touch it. Warmth, this is the next secret. I think this is secret number 8. Let's see. Number 8, okay? All right. Look at the red, look at the red area of this photo, okay? If you want your reds really red, deep red, bright red, this is the secret, okay? If you slide the warm slider to the left, you will notice that it will make the image colder or more on the bluer side. I'm going to show you right there. We don't want that because it looks very unnatural. But if you notice, if you look at the reds here, the more I push it to the right, the reds get actually more redder and redder and redder and deeper. But then you don't want to overdo it because now it's affecting the whole image, including the yellow, the yellow, the rest of the flower. So I'm just gonna pull it back a little bit. And then I'm just gonna stop right there, I think, okay? I'm gonna show one more example where you can really show it on the red part, okay? So, but this is where it is. Okay, so warms is number 8, right? Number 9 is the tint. The tint. So 9 secret is the tint. The tint is almost just like the warmth, but it's a different, gives you a different look into it. Okay, so the tint, the more you push it to the left, it turns more green. Okay. The more to the right, it turns more magenta. Okay. But again, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to push it all the way to the right or all the way to the left. All the way to the left, it turns green. All the way to the right, it turns really magenta-ish. So what I'm going to do here, based on my taste, I'm going to put it back right in the middle. And then I'm going to give it a little bit more of a magenta tint. Okay. I'm going to slide it to the right. There you go. I'm happy with that. Okay. Last secret. Sharpness, we skip that. That's not a secret. Definition, we skip that. That's not a secret. I almost always never use them. Noise reduction, I almost always never use them. This is the last secret, the vignette. Okay. What the vignette is what it does, it frames your image so it will darken or lighten the outer part of your image. I'll show you exactly. Okay. If you push the slider to the left, you will notice that the outer part of the image is getting brighter and brighter, right? You don't want that. If you push it to the right, it gets darker and darker and darker, right? Use this function with caution because I see a lot of photographers who use vignetting very too much. They abuse it. It looks like there's like black corners, So you want to use it just right. But what's good is because when you use vignetting correctly, what it does, just like here, I'm gonna stop right there. What it does is it's letting your eye focus in the center. It's kind of drawing your eyes to the center of the image. Okay, so there's vignetting. And so that's our final photo for this image. So I'm going to go ahead and click done. And then the phone will save all the information that you did, all the editing information. It saves it on that. And then again, I'm going to show you it's because this is a live photo. I'm going to go ahead. I'm showing you the video file. Then when I release it, it will bring it back to our final photo right there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go for the next images. I'm just going to go ahead and start editing it. And then I will just point out the most important part. Like for this one, right? I'm going to go ahead and click edit. I'm hitting auto right now. I don't like the way it did it. So I'm going to try to do the sliders to the left, to the right. I think I kind of like it to the left. I'm going to crop it. I'm going to start cropping it. For this one, it's pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and crop it that way. Okay. Go back to the editing tools. I don't touch exposure. I don't touch brilliance. I don't touch that. Let me go back to shadows. Okay. I'm going to play with the shadows here a little bit. I'm going to make the darkers, more dark. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm not touching contrast. For this one, for brightness, I might bring it up back up a little bit. Okay. So now I'm gonna skip black point, skip saturation, and remember I skip vibrance. Remember when I said to get the deep red, deep warm, so it doesn't look magenta-ish. Let's play with the warmth function, right? I'm gonna make it warmer, 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 right there. It does not match. Okay. And then with the tint, I'm gonna give it more of a magenta look, right? Right there. Oh, because it's light. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and jump next to vignetting. So this one, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a vignette. I'm gonna darken the corners a little bit, and there you go. And that's our final photo. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Okay, let's do no, not that one. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. Okay, so for this one again, what I'm gonna do is I wanted to see the other frames on this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and click edit, and then I will hit the live button here, so I'm gonna see what other frames that is available for me. Okay, so let me take a look at, because I remember when I took this photo, it was kind of moving quite a bit, but I think I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna pick that frame. I'm gonna make it key photo. I'm gonna press on that key photo. Now this is my starting point, right? I'm gonna hit go back there. Okay, again, next step, click auto. There you go. For this one, I like what happened. I like the way he did it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and crop. For this particular one, I'm gonna go ahead and invert the photo. So there's a function up here where you can rotate because I kind of want it this way. And then I'm gonna go ahead and crop it. I'm gonna go ahead and crop it this way, just to show that beautiful, beautiful crown. There you go. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to the regular editing tools here. Exposure, I don't touch that. Brilliance. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the shadows. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I want more contrast, so I'm gonna make the shadows even more obvious. Right there. See, if you notice the underneath, it got darker and darker. Okay. Brightness here, I'm gonna go to brightness and I'm gonna make it a little dark. There you go. All right. I'm gonna go to warmth. And I'm just gonna go ahead and experiment. I don't like that look. I'm just gonna give it, see here, I'm giving the yellow a little bit more intensity. There you go. Okay. And then tint, let me play with tint. Give it a little bit more magenta look right there. So notice that every time I edit, there really are no rules, so there's not one rule for editing. I play around with it. I move sliders to the left, to the right until I see something that I like, and then that's where I will stop. And the more you do it, the more your eyes get trained, and the more you develop your own style and your own look when you're creating photos. Oop, what happened there? Okay, and then actually looking at this is a little bit dark, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to exposure a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little bit more light, just a little bit. That's what I did. And then I'm gonna go ahead and jump again under the vignetting, right? And I'm gonna give it a little bit of a vignette. There you go. All right, so I think that's our final. Actually, it still looks pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a little bit more warmth. I'm gonna go to warmth, and I'm gonna give it a little bit more yellow. There you go. I like that. And that's it. I'm gonna hit done. And I'm going to show you one more. And I will show you this one, our little iris. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit, downloading. Downloading, okay. I'm gonna hit auto. Look, watch what happens. Brighten it up a little bit. I'm gonna go crop. I'm gonna pinch and get it as close as I can. So for this one, I kind of already know what I want to do because when I actually shot it, I had a plan for it. This is what I want to do. I just want to really keep it as close to just give the viewer a little hint of what this flower looks like. And I'm not gonna make it straight. I'm gonna make it a little bit diagonal like this. Let's see. Although that looks pretty cool too. And if I rotate it, that looks pretty cool too. I think I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna stick right there, okay? I'm gonna go back to the editing tools, auto. For this one, I already know shadows. I'm gonna play around with shadows. For this one, I kind of like it brighter. So if I slide it all the way to the right, I like that look, right? And I will give it a little bit more contrast maybe. There you go. And saturation now. Now let's take a look at the warmth, right? Do I want this more blue or do I want this more orange? I don't know. Let's see. That's more blue. That's more orange. More blue, more orange. More blue, more orange. I think for this one, I like it more blue. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it more to the left, right there. And then tint. Let's see, do we want this more green or more magenta? Let's see what happens. It's more green, more magenta. I do like the magenta a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a magenta tint. So I'm going to slide to the right. Okay. And then again, the last one is vignetting. I'm going to give it a little bit of a vignette. Not like that, not that way, but to the right. Darken up a little bit. So you don't want to do it too much like this because I don't like that. You want to give just a hint of vignetting so the eyes are drawn into the center of the photo. And I think I'm pretty happy with that, okay? So I think what we're gonna do for the next class, I'm thinking we're gonna do a more deep dive into editing all these photos. We're running out of time here, and I think I've given enough so for you to can kind of go out there and start practicing. Like just get your feet wet and start doing it. Don't worry if you don't get it right. So next time we do it, you can actually ask me the questions. But the more you practice, the better you get at it. Okay. Now, so if I'm just gonna browse through all the ones that we did here. Select. So we edited. So we did that, right? From here to that. And then we did that as well. We did this. And this one. All right. There's actually an 11th secret, and that is, what's the purpose of these photos, right? If you don't share it with the world, if you don't share it with the people you love, then what's the point? So the 11th secret is, if you like it, share it with everybody. It's what I do. I post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. If it can make even just one person smile, it's worth it. All the work, it's worth it. And again, my last thing is just practice. Just keep on practicing, you know, and then you'll get better at it. I think I want to open it now for questions. What's our time? Huh? Almost 2 hours. Okay, so I'm gonna answer some questions as much as I can, and then we'll see how many of you want to hang out. You know, if you want to hang out for another 30 minutes, I don't mind. But otherwise, we'll end the session. But so if you can all just type in, I'm just go back here, and I lost the feed. Hang on a second. So type in your questions, and then I'll see if I can. I'll try to get as many questions as I can. So maybe William, you can. This is it, right? Okay. Practice, practice, practice. Yes. Yeah. So I really want you. Where is okay, Marina? Where is the 2x on the XR? I believe the 2x on the SR is just if you touch the screen and then you just kind of slide it to the right, it will do a digital. I think, let me show you. Maybe I can replicate it here. So here, I'm going to change the view to myself. There you go. I think the 2x is if you tap on the screen. Oh, I can do it. No, actually, I can do it on the front. If you tap on the screen, see there's 1x there, and then if you touch it, it will show like a little right there. Can you see it? Like a protractor. So you can actually choose how the telephoto that you want. For the XR, I think it only has one camera. So what it's doing is it's doing a digital zoom rather than optical zoom. And I'm not going to get into what the difference between those two, but this is how you do it. You tap on the screen, and then you can kind of zoom. You can zoom in and zoom out, even if you're just using one camera. All right. Next. How do I? Maybe William, you can ask me the question because it's moving too fast.
Let's do Anita's question.
Anita. Okay, Anita. To be clear, earlier when you were walking in your backyard, were you taking still shots or were you in video and snapping the shot when it was right? So the iPhone has this function where the only reason I'm doing that because basically on the iPhone I'm recording the screen. It's a video, so I'm doing both actually. So what you were seeing was the sight of the camera. But while I was doing this, I was also recording what's happening on the screen. That way I can show it to you all. So the answer is I'm doing both. I'm taking a video of what's happening on the screen, but then when I'm taking pictures in the backyard, I'm only taking like really like the snapshots. When I press the shutter button, that's when I take the photo. Okay. I hope I answered your question. If not, just message me. Any other questions that we can answer?
Alex is wondering what that device with the black pen you're using is.
Who?
Alex.
Alex. Oh, this. Okay, so let me show what this is. It's a stylus, basically. It's a bamboo slate. I'm going to show you. I think this is what he's talking about.
Yep.
So it's basically a mouse. So instead of using the trackpad on my laptop here, you can see it. So the pen is actually the mouse. And it's what I use when I'm doing like really fine-tuned editing of photos. You can like really like make really subtle, very micro movements to select certain parts of the photos if I want to edit it and I want to manipulate it. It's called a is it a Wacom or Wacom? People say Wacom tablet or Wacom tablet. WACOM. It's the only thing that I use. I can't use a mouse anymore, but I've been using this for 12 years and I love it. So it's basically a stylus pen. So every time I move it on top of this pad, the arrow key on my laptop also moves. So it's basically my mouse, but it's more precise and it's more accurate. Again, it's a Wacom tablet. What else? Any other questions now? Okay. And let me see what else I have here. And please share your photos. Okay, so if you once you for everybody once you've done your photos, please post it on our Facebook group page because I want to see them. I would love to see the things that you do. If you want me to give you a little bit of critique, I will. Um, I will try to look as much as I could, but I really, really would love to see the photos that you've taken, and it would be nice to see if you actually benefited and learned something from today from me. Um, Also, for those of you who don't follow me on your Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. I need more followers. Okay, so my handle on Instagram is, are you ready? It's the Christian Del Rosario. So it's just basically my name with the in front of it. When I opened my Instagram account, I realized there were like 542 Christian Del Rosarios in the world. So I made myself the Christian Del Rosario. Please follow me on Instagram. And
They're wondering if you should use portrait mode or regular.
huh?
They're wondering if you should use portrait mode or regular.
What do you mean?
The portrait mode.
Oh, the portrait mode on the phone. We will have, that's a whole different animal. So we will have a class just on using the portrait mode on the phone. When I was talking earlier about computational photography, this is one of the best things that also happened with computational photography is the portrait mode on the phone. It's magical. I love it. So I've been thinking about this actually, and I'm gonna dedicate a whole lecture just maybe a 30-minute class just on using portrait mode because it's pretty cool. It's so cool. I use it all the time. I use it all the time with my dogs. But for this ones that we did today, it's all just regular photo mode. I did not use any portrait mode on it. Yeah, you can if you like, but I did not. Okay.
Christine was wondering, do you get physically close to the subject? Do you zoom in or do you do both?
Do I physically get close to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I'm going to show you right now. For example, if the subject, this is you can see my phone, right? Actually, here. This. Like, I'm going to pick the subject here. Here we go. Perfect. I have this little doggy here. This is Roxanne, my dog. Well, she's in heaven now. But so this is what I do. Like, imagine this is the flower, right? This is basically what happens. I turn the camera on. I press the 2x, and if this is the flower, I get real close and like basically like this. I think I probably should take it with this camera. That way I can show them the photo. Okay, hang on. I'll turn this camera on. And I'm gonna actually, oh no, you need to see, okay. Hang on, take the camera. Okay, so I'm on 2x. I'm getting real close to the subject, to the nose. See, if I get real close like this, it gets really blurry, right? Because it's way too close. So I'm gonna pull it back a little bit, pull it back really slow until I get that sharp look that I want. And I press boom. So that's how close I get. I get really close. But depends on your eyesight. Sometimes I don't do this. I'm usually this way. I'm usually like this. And then now let me show you the photo that I took. Real quick. So there's the photo that I just took. See how the subject is really, really sharp and the background is a little bit blurry, right? Okay, then go back to any other questions we have? No more? Okay, great. So thank you so much. I thank you for what, 2 hours? 2 hours. Thank you for staying with me for 2 hours. I really appreciate it. If I will make an announcement on when the next class will be, probably next week, something shorter. This is the longest class that we will ever do because it's the beginning. But I think the next one will be we're going to go deep dive into the editing of the photo, so I can do more because I only did 4 or 5 today. But I think that's about it. Thank you so much. I hope you're all you're all staying safe. For those who are in Australia and Asia, thank you for waking up early, and for those in Europe, thank you for staying up late just stay with us. Stay safe. If you have family or friends who are in the front lines, who are medical workers, thank them for me. Um, I hope that one day this will be over. But for now, I hope that you're all trying to make the most out of your time at home, just like what I'm doing right now. And I hope I was able to help you today. Thank you. I'll see you next week and have a great day. I'm going to go eat lunch now. Bye bye. Roxy, come here. Say hi to everybody before I say goodbye. Say bye, Roxy. Oh. Ah. Say bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Okay. Do I need to do anything special here? No, just hit stop, right? Cancel.